Hello, everybody. It's Stephen and Walter here for another episode of So Chatty, and it is November the 7th, 2025. Can you believe we're in November?
No,
Then you say, no, I can't believe we're in November.
I
And then
can't.
you go, my God, it's November. And you go, oh, yeah, it's November. That's what they all do on all the comedy shows for everything on all those news programs. They all do this every month. They go, can you believe it? It's like, yeah, whatever. Okay, enough humor. Let's see what I've been working on. Well, are you ready? Stormy C, that I've been working on for months. Walter's quilt. He's going to die for this. Is almost done. That's the top. The top is completely done. Now it has to be quilted. That's the next piece of hell I have discovered, because my Lucy is a 10-inch or 10-foot frame. Walter always goes on, you should have got a 12, should have got a 12, should have got
Yeah,
a
he
12.
could have gotten a 12-foot at the time for the same price as a 10-foot. But he insisted that he didn't need anything bigger than a 10-foot. And he said, it won't fit in our room. But it would have fit in our room. But it would just have been a little bit longer. And so...
10 feet sounds like a lot. Well, it's not, because this quilt measures exactly 108 inches square. So I have a 10-foot frame. 10 times 12 in inches is 120 inches. Yes, it is. From one end of the frame to the other end of the frame. But the problem is this, and everybody who has a long arm knows this. You have to have a certain amount of your backing and batting that's bigger than your quilt all the way around, because you, especially if you're doing edge-to-edge design, because you need something to clamp onto and all that. So ideally, you want anywhere between 4 to 6 inches on each edge of your quilt extra, or past the quilt top, okay? So let's say bare minimum, you're doing 4 inches. So on the side, so that's 8 inches total you add to the length. That makes their total area 116 inches. Okay, you're going to go, but you still have 4 inches to spare, because you said 120. Except you don't. That doesn't take into consideration the base of the arm, which is about 6 inches or so, and it can only go over, and that base hits the edge of your frame on the far side. So your needle is in the center of that. So yeah, you're not getting all the way over with that. That's probably very confusing. For any of you who don't have a long arm, you haven't got a clue of what I just said. But let's just say it's a problem. So the other problem I have is the backing fabric. I don't like a pieced backing. I like to do it all in one piece. It gives you less hell, because your needle's not going through extra seams and things like that. I mean, you've already, in this quilt, there's a lot of seams, okay, as you can imagine. So I bought, which is usually what was what's recommended in the pattern, I bought 3 meters of 108-inch wide fabric. Now, that should be enough, right? No, because you want extra, as I already said, to hang over the edges. You're not putting it right up, because your quilt will shrink. As you are quilting it, it starts to pull in a little bit. So it shrinks down. So you have to have extra. So I got out my backing fabric, and the backing fabric that I bought for this goes with the fabrics that are in this. It's nice. It's a batik and everything. And yeah, it is wide enough, because it worked out to 117 inches wide. That I asked for 3 meters. They gave me a little bit more than that. So that's fine. But it is exactly 108 inches lengthwise, because it's 108. Okay, so salvage to salvage is what I'm talking about. 108 inches. Well, the top is 108 inches. So, yeah, I need more. So ideally, it would have been nice to have had a 120 inch, and they do make a 120 inch wide backing, but it's very rare and it's hard to find. And I did a search this morning, and yeah, I did find some, but none of it would have looked right with the quilt. It wasn't right, and they don't make this particular line of fabric, which is Stonehenge by Northcutt. They don't make it at 120 for the backing. So I'm screwed there. Not to mention even the extra cost of buying it, because what I was looking at for 120 inch, it looked like the price was around $35 and more a meter. And if you need 3 meters, yeah, I've already spent over $500 on this quilt in just in materials alone. So what does that leave you to? Well, the instructions aren't very good at this. They recommend buy 44 inch width of fabric, by 10 yards of it. And then it looks like they're suggesting you cut that 10 yards into 3 strips that are 3 1/3 yards each, which make 10 yards, right? So then you'd be piecing that too. So needless to say, I have to piece the backing. But do I have any more of that backing fabric? No, I do not. I could buy some more of the fabric, but then I was trying it math hard. Okay, math hard. Because if I buy another piece of 108 inch, I have to turn it. See, things get turned. I have to turn it because I'm putting the piece in. Okay, I solved the problem because I had enough of the fabric that's in the front of the quilt, one of the colors there, that's very close to the same color as what's in the batik backing. Enough of it that I could make a strip about this wide and the length of what I need. So that means then I have to cut the backing fabric piece in half. And so this piece, I'm sewing it in the middle. And so that will give me lots of fabric for the length and for the width. That won't fit on Lucy. Yeah. So what am I going to do? I don't know yet. I have several ideas. I'm hitting a few brick walls.
Yeah, like we were going to go to Tracy, which is the the place that he bought the long arm from. And she rents space out on time out on her long arms that are bigger than the one Steve has. But we got there and found out that she had been in an accident, and
she owns a motorcycle, and she had a motorcycle accident back in the summer, and she's still not. She just had surgery the other day.
Actually, she had the surgery a couple months ago.
But she had to go back for something that wasn't.
Yeah, that
right.
was the back one. She had. I don't think she had it the other day. The surgery.
Well, anyways, she's not in the best of shape, and so I mean, the ladies we went to the quilt store, of course, and they all know Tracy because years and years and years ago, before Tracy started a long arm business, she worked there. And she's a good friend to all the ladies. That's how we found out that she had this accident. We didn't know anything about it. They said probably if I'm going to do the work on the machine, and I was just using her as guidance for setting it up, that she'd be able to do that kind of a thing. And I'm also thinking, well, okay, also I could use a refresher on setting up a quilt on these frames because I'd be using the computer. I'm pretty sure Tracy would let me use the computer since she knows I have one and everything on the system. But I think I have developed some bad habits, and so it would be a good time to have her go over a few things that I may have forgotten and how to do and get it all set up. So that is one alternative. I could do that. Rent the time and everything like that. It's pricey because I'm not sure if her prices have gone up, but she used to charge about $30 an hour for renting the machine. And this quilt's going to take a minimum with the computer of 6 hours, I would say, or something. So, it's going to be a couple of $100 more on top of that. It's a pricey quilt. Anybody want to buy it? Let's start the bidding at $500,000. Okay. So that's a alternative. Another possibility is one of the ladies that works at Ultimate Sewing, Ellie, she does a lot of long arming too. She has a long arm and she can handle one this size and that kind of thing. Now she doesn't have a computer. She does some free motion and she uses paper pantographs, which is fine. Edge to edge design, that's okay. I don't care. It doesn't have to be done by a computer. But she is comes from England originally, and she hasn't been home for Christmas in many, many years, and she is planning to go home for Christmas. So it probably wouldn't be done before Christmas. It may be, and she's usually fairly busy because she does this as a business on the side. I mean, I'm not in any rush, but then again, I am. I'd like to have the damn thing done and out of my hair. So that is an alternative. But then we were talking about other ways to actually make it work on Lucy. And there might be a way. We batted around several different ideas. And so probably after this weekend and that, I'll start seriously screwing around and see if this is feasible. Ideally, if I can do it myself on my machine, I'd be the happiest about it. But I'm hesitant too because this is unknown territory to a certain extent, and like a setup when you're I mean, I'm really squeezing out the limit that Lucy can handle. Other alternatives, some of you may come up with them. Take the wide outer borders off, quilt the centerpiece, then reattach the borders. You could do that, but here's your problem. You still got to quilt the borders. So, I mean, I suppose before you reattach the borders, you could lay them all out on the backing and batting, do your quilting for that in those. So it would be a little different than what you put in the center, but that'd be okay. You could coordinate it. I could set up the computer to actually do that. So then reattach it all. The problem is you're fooling around with attaching. I'd have to trim the batting. If I don't want a bulky seam, I'd have to trim the batting back. And it can be done. It can be done. I have done something like that before, but not on such a scale as this. Yeah, so I don't know. I still have some other ideas rotating around in my head, but they're just doing that. We're rotating. What I actually have to do is, when I took this picture, I put it on my little display frame that I have so I could take a decent shot of it. And I have to take it down off that and lay out my backing, all that stuff, I have to see what the possibilities are. There may be possibilities. Yeah. AI, where are you when I need you? I actually did go and used AI. And AI basically says, yeah, you're screwed. So thank you for that artificial intelligence. Yeah. But if I get Walter looking at it too, maybe between the two of us, we can come up with something brilliant. If not, well, I may have to contact Tracy, see how she is and everything about that, and give her my plan for that. And if she's not up to it or whatever, then put the whole project on hold until she is, or until Ellie at the store is more available or something like that. I don't know. There are other long armors in the area. I don't know them though, and I don't know their work. And
Kawartha Quilting.
I hadn't thought about them. That's right. They have a big Gemmel and they do long arming all the time. Didn't even think about them. That might be a possibility. It's going to cost me, but it already has, so what the hell. And for a penny, actually, that's actually a really good idea. You're almost brilliant. Given the fact that the reason I'm going through this hell is because of you. I don't like the quilt that you made that you spent 2.5 years
Well,
on.
I know it. Part of the problem is you decided you didn't want the long arm that I suggested you.
It always comes back to me, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
But it's not my fault you picked.
But
well,
actually,
you picked the quilt too.
Kawartha Quilting is a good idea. I think I'll put out an inquiry to them. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be workable. The fact is, though, I'm getting somebody else to quilt my quilt,
Yeah.
and I've never done that before. But I also don't want to fuck this one up, pardon the language, with it too, because I've put too much time and effort into this. So, yeah. Well, okay. There are possibilities, so we shall see. Keep you informed about this. You know, this is why I started the channel. I'm an idiot, and I'm just proving how many times over I am an idiot. Okay. So, speaking of idiots, Walter, what have you been doing?
Not much.
Just telling me how stupid I am because I didn't buy a...
Raking leaves, and
Well, good for you.
I haven't been doing much at all. I haven't even been doing much with cleaning up my rooms.
Yeah, so don't ask. Does it look any different? Nope. Are things piling up? Yep.
Yep.
It's pretty much normal. Yeah. Okay, so announcements. Sewing with Steven as usual on Wednesdays. You know the drill. You know the link. And also a plug for my friend Russ. Russ is having sewing shenanigans this coming Sunday. I think he's starting at 8:30. It's a Zoom. Go to his YouTube channel for more information about that. If you're on his mailing list, he's already sent out the links to everybody on the mailing list. But I think he may be posting them as well in his show notes of his latest video that went up on this past Wednesday. So yeah, so that's on Sunday. And on Saturday, we're off on another adventure, only this isn't a quilt show this time. We're going off to a sew day for Quilts of Valor, the local chapter of Quilts of Valor in Trenton, Ontario, which is about an hour east of us. We went last year, if you remember, and we showed a video. One of my quilts that I donate to them was being given to a vet in the ceremony that they have for that. And that was very moving, and I had it all on video, and I showed that a year ago. So we're going to the same place again, the Aeronautical Museum on the Trenton Air Force Base. And I think there's about 50 people they're expecting to show up for this, and we're going to be there and quilting. We're working on, you can bring your own thing to work on if you want, or they've got some kits put together. So for some simple kits to make, add to the pile of quilts for, of Quilts of Valor. So we're going to be working on the kit. We work on it together, split up the load. It's usually a fairly, well, at least last year it was. I have a feeling it's the same every year. It was very basic pattern. So, you know, but it helps to stockpile quilts for them. And I'm taking a quilt that I have made and finished, and I showed it a few weeks ago on here. That's my donation down there. So it should be an interesting day, given that the weather will cooperate going down, because right now it's miserable outside here. And there is a forecast. They are suggesting there could be snow.
Well, that's on Sunday, though.
Yeah, well, who knows? It might. Does the weather really know the day of the week? I don't know. But anyways, hopefully the weather won't make us have to...
Well, it's supposed to be sunny tomorrow.
Oh, well, okay, fine. Now, okay, we'll stick to that one.
Yeah, sunny and above zero, so...
Oh, piece of cake. No problem. So, yeah, I will do a little bit. I don't like to do a lot of filming while we're doing the sewing thing, because it takes away from the sewing, and also, you know...
People don't like to be on camera.
People don't want to be on camera and that whole thing. So I doubt I might get a couple of quick pictures to show you, you know, people's working on quilts or something. Or
people getting presented.
Or getting presented. Maybe a presentation of it. They're not presenting, as far as I know, one of my quilts is not being presented tomorrow. Last year they told me it was. That's why they invited us for one thing, and now we making it sort of an annual event. But yeah, we'll see what we'll see. Okay, so that takes us to the main topic today, and it's quilt show time. We went last weekend to a quilt show in a place that's sort of northwest of us. It's north of Toronto, about an hour away. It's not very far away. It is a town called
Gwillimbury.
Very good. Gwillimbury. Did you practice that? I have a hard time getting
Gwillimbury.
Gwillimbury.
It's like Gwillimbury with a
yeah, it's
a G beginning with G.
Yeah. How come I spelled it with a Q?
It is Q.
It's Q. It's QW.
Yeah, QW.
Yeah. Like I don't know.
Gwillimbury.
Anyways, it's a place. And so we went to this quilt show. It's the local guild there that was putting it on. And some beautiful, beautiful works there as well. And it's in a church. It's in a nice church. Actually, it's a fairly contemporary building that the church is in. In fact, if you looked at it from the outside, it doesn't really look like a church.
Yeah.
So when we walked in, there was a big room with the quilts and things. And at first I thought, oh, this is a small show, because it wasn't that big a room. And the quilts that were in there were very, very lovely. And I think I got every quilt on the video in there. But then we walked out into the hallway, and they were utilizing every space they could in that church. So they had this room, which was probably their Sunday school hall or something like that, or their, where they have maybe community social gatherings or something like that. Then they have their hallway that connects to the sanctuary. They had quilts on the walls of that, all laid out there too for you to see. And then you got in the sanctuary, and they were using the pews, the benches, for displaying the quilts. And they had them all draped over them, all the rows. It was quite a nice display, as you'll see in the video. One thing about them being over the pews, though, you didn't really see them in their full glory because they were folded a little bit, but you still got a good sense of it. And there were, of course, some of the guild members there wearing their white gloves, so I'm sure if there was a quilt you wanted them to show you more, they could pick it up and probably hold it for you so you could see it closer. We didn't ask them to do that. They did have a couple of rooms where they were selling their own, things that people and members of the guild had made to raise money for the guild, because essentially for most guilds, this is their major fundraiser that keeps them going for a couple of years. They charge a membership fee to guild members, and then they have this, and this is what usually keeps a guild going. We didn't buy anything while we were there, but they had lots of interesting things. If you're looking for, Christmas gifts for, people in your lives who are quilters or quilt adjacent to it or quilt worthy, they had things there for them. There was a lady there, and you'll see her on the video. She had these dolls that she has made from fabric and other things, but they're on a wire frame. They're not like when I say doll, these are more, I asked her what she called them, and she didn't really have a name for them, but she called them, she says, I guess, wired dolls, because they have a wire framework, and the fabric is wrapped around it and secured in such a way, and they're really, really fantastic pieces. But anyways, we got to talk to her about her creation process and everything, and she was very interesting. Plus, she had a lot of her own quilts. She does thread painting. She takes, panels or pieces of panels, and she uses a little bit of trapunto in them as well to give them some dimension, and she embellishes them and everything. It's real. They're works of art. So that was nice to have a little chat with her. And then we went off to a quilt store. More about that after you've seen the video, and met up with one of my subscribers, Caroline, who lived in the town next door. So we'll talk a little bit more about that after you've seen the video. But here's the video of the
Gwillimbury.
Yeah,
Gwillimbury.
What he said. Quilt show. We are on our way to another quilt show in a place called
Gwillimbury.
Gwillimbury.
Yeah.
I mean, GW. What sound does that make? But whatever. And it is a local guild quilt show. It was back when we were in Buckhorn at their quilt show back in the summer. A lady came up to us with a poster advertising this one. I assume that she is part of the guild, and kind of made a special invitation for us to come there. And we said, well, we would definitely consider it. So we are going there. It's about an hour or so away from us towards the northwest.
Yeah. It's about an hour.
Yeah, it's about an hour.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. We're a little iffy about whether or not they have vendors, because their poster kind of suggests that they don't. That they have their local guild has a table, you know, because they make things. It's a fundraiser for the guild. That's how usually guilds do things, to make money, to keep their guild running. So I don't know if I'll be doing much purchasing today while there, but we're there to see the quilts. So I'm debating whether I'm going to just take pictures of the quilts and then put it all together as a slideshow, or actually do video while I'm doing it. The problem with doing video is, depends on what you have going on in the background. For example, if there's music, although there wasn't at the last one that we went to, you know, that becomes a copyright issue. Also, people kind of get in your way as well, and they're trying to look at the quilts too, and you don't want to, I don't want to get people in the video, because, you know, some people are funny about that. They don't want to be videoed. So I'll see what the lay of the land is when we get there. It's in a church. It's in a United Church church. So this will be kind of unusual. I assume that probably in the basement of the church is where they're going to hold it. I don't know, because most churches have a hall kind of a thing for Sunday school or special events and things like that. Really don't know what to expect, but, you know, when we went to Buckhorn, we weren't expecting much, and we were like blown out of the water by that one. So this could be very similar. And then after we have been at the quilt show, we are going off to a visit with Caroline and her husband Craig. Caroline is a regular subscriber to the channel, and also I see her every Wednesday for Sewing with Stephen Day as well. And we met up with her and her husband at the Canadian Quilt Show as well last June. So she's invited us to her place for coffee, and so we're going to do that afterwards too. Maybe I'll get her on video as well while we're there for a little bit. So that's what we're off to today. So we've got a little bit of a drive ahead of us, and then we'll be there and I'll show you what we see.
Yes, they do very nice work.
Wow. Look at the applique in that.
See this before? That's right.
Needle turned.
Look at the back on that, isn't it? Yeah, great.
Yeah, I think so. These are gorgeous.
Heather, take your time wherever you are. I'm here. I just know one or two downstairs.
So, I don't think this is a juried show. Because I don't see any ribbons or anything. It must be just a show. Boy, that one took a long time. Look at the little pieces. It's more modern. A lot of applique. And this, by the way, I don't think I said when we came in, is the Gwillimbury Quilt Guild, their show. Now I'm not seeing any ribbons, so I don't think it's a competition. But there's a lot here that would win good prizes in in one that was a competition. And that one must have taken quite a long time. Somebody really likes to applique. Wow.
A lot are made by this Terry Fenton.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, there's and quilted by Lynn Adams, Terry Fenton and Lynn Adams.
This one's cool. I don't know. The trick in these is getting the colors right to get the three-dimensional effect. I'd probably blow that.
Okay, I'll go back to the desk and then.
No, and some of the like if you know about podcasts, like you
That one's got embellishments on it. With a Halloween one. Done with a panel. That's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah. Well, that's a grandfather now. I know, which means that we're great grandparents, but it's just she's really good even though I've been.
Maybe in a quilt.
Those little pieces. Good way to get rid of your scraps. That's a good way to get rid of your scraps.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've seen them. Well, we just met a subscriber, lovely lady, who lives in the Rouge Hill area, which is a little bit south of us. And she heard that we were coming here, so she decided to come up too. I don't think she just came up to meet us, of course, but it was very nice of her to speak to us. This is the boutique. Well, we'll go into the boutique after we go down and see the rest of the quilts. Like the boots. That one's unusual. No, it's okay. I get it. Yeah. That's really different. I like that. Wow, look at this. We have a tea room. These are tickets. A different and there's more quilts.
Yeah, because this is their 2025 one. Oh, my. Yeah, like she'll mark certain days, you know, if something happens.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Geez, we thought there was just one room. Oh no, there's a lot. Lots. What a great way to display the quilts. It's an interesting church. No chicken bag.
And Nolan's quilt is in there too, the Arrowheads.
Look at silent auction.
My apologies. That's what we came for.
Yes. That's what I thought.
Great Christmas present.
Yeah? True.
Putting the
But I may have
ideas
to-
there.
It's all right. Excuse me.
And then go and dinner. I know for years and I've never thought of that question. Hello, how
Hi.
are you?
Good, thank
Do you
you.
remember us from Buckhorn?
Yep.
Yep.
That's why we're here.
Coming. Thank you
That's
for
why we're
coming.
here. Yeah.
Did you put the notice up that I gave you?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, I put it up on my channel.
I followed it
A
for
couple of
while,
times.
but yeah, then
Yep.
I kind of got busy here.
Yep, put it up actually this week that we were coming up here and everything, and then I'll be posting this video for probably next week on our So Chatty.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Well, enjoy.
thank you. Now, I noticed over on the other side they had some kind of like doll things.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah? Steampunk. Yeah, really beautiful. Yeah.
So she appreciates, she was the one who encouraged me.
You are the artist.
Yes, I am.
These are gorgeous.
Thank you.
Absolutely wonderful. My name is Stephen Bland. I'm the Idiot Quilter. Do you mind if I talk to you for a few minutes? I'll put this on my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, where did you come up with the idea?
I saw a picture in a book.
And it inspired you right from that.
It did, yeah.
Well, they're fascinating. And so I noticed that you have one that's steampunk. I'm kind of into steampunk too, to a certain
Yes,
extent
I love
too.
steampunk,
Right.
yes.
But this is so. Can you explain? I know your card. I saw your card. But can you explain your process?
Well, this explains it right here.
Oh, okay.
I start with a wire armature, right? Wrap it with batting, and then tear fabric into strips, and then wrap it with the fabric of your choice, and then embellish.
And just go with your imagination
Yes,
and grab whatever.
imagination, yeah.
Well, it's a great way to use up things you probably have laying around in your stash too. But
Exactly, I have so much.
yeah. Now, so there's no stiffening in these, with the exception of the armature, the wire.
Yeah, they're very posable. Like,
Yeah, I see that.
Pose them in any way you want, like this one here. I just had them out the other day. They'll stand, or you can make them look like a ballerina, or
Right, or
dancing,
whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, great. Now, do you sell these?
Well, it was never my intention to. I just love doing them,
So,
and I love having them around my house.
oh,
Oops.
And but there was a lady in there who sort of bullied me into selling her one. She just left. And so I said, okay, I gave in, said, sure, that was
Yeah.
fine. And then when I told one of the girls at the front there, I said, I sold one of my dolls. I didn't mean to. She says, you're selling them?
So,
So-
how long would it take you to make one of these?
Depends on
On how much detail you put into it, or and I don't imagine you just sit down and make one in a day. You probably come back and forth to it.
Yeah, because you've got to do your hands, which are the hardest part. The hands take me a long time to make them.
Oh yeah.
Depending on what I use. Yeah, you've got to have a theme, and then you've got to find the embellishment that kind of goes with the theme that's in your mind.
Yeah.
And so I would say I probably work on them for a couple or 3 weeks, but
Right.
not all the time.
But not
Just
right.
whenever I
When
do.
the mood gets you, kind
That's
of a
it.
thing too. Well, they're absolutely wonderful. These are museum pieces.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I could see these in a museum. Yeah.
Okay.
So you might want to consider that sometime. Have you made, like, is this all the ones you've made, or have you made more?
No, this is all I did.
Right.
Just one just went out the door.
So when did you get started?
Well, I made my first one, which just went out the door about 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I made a couple more after that, and then there was a long spell I didn't do anything because I was moving and just
Right.
other things on the go. And then I would say within the last 6 or 8 months, I made 3 more. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Well, they're very inspiring. That's for sure.
thank you.
With it, and I love the color scheme that you've used, and they do have a personality to them as well.
Well, I try to have a theme in my mind of what I want to make them into. Like these are my carnival girls. And steam.
Right.
These 3 that I had here were like my elegant ladies.
Elliot.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're beautiful. They really are beautiful. So, yeah. Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Give you a very lovely lady that we talked to a moment ago. Her name is Linda Royce, and these are hers as well. The steampunk animals. And they're really quite interesting too. Anything steampunk I'm usually attracted to as well.
That's interesting.
And I'm trying to, did she do all of this as
It looks like they were almost like a panel.
panel, and then she's embellished it
it.
and did thread painting on it and kind of thing, yeah. And looks like a little bit of trapunto because she's got them so that they're standing out from the
Yeah.
background.
That's cool.
Yeah,
She's got a good imagination.
she does. She's very, very talented, I would say. So we just noticed these. There's one on either side here of the front of the church. And these are not part of the quilt show, but obviously these have been quilted and probably maybe done by one of the people or some of the people in the guild as well, but they're really quite nice. So Walter, what did you think of that quilt show?
It was good. It was interesting. It wasn't huge, but
No, but there
it's-
were quite a few quilts
Yeah.
when you take, because the way they had them laid out in the sanctuary of the church too, which is kind of interesting. And Linda Royce, the lady who does the wired dolls, fantasy dolls, as she was telling us that she was calling them, or a friend was calling them that. Those looked really cool too. Yeah, it's and they had a little boutique. They had a lot of little things there. If you want some Christmas gifts or something like that for people, they had lots of that to choose from, and a silent auction going on with baskets full of lots of things. Very nice little quilt show, I think. Worth the drive to, I can't say it.
Willenbury.
Yeah, Willenbury. I have trouble with that G and W all the time, and very nice people. They were all very friendly and everything, and a few of them remembered us from the Buckhorn quilt show as well. So yeah, very nice. So we have stopped into Sutton. Sutton, we blinked and almost missed, but we're on the main drag now. We're at Papa Luigi's pizzeria family restaurant. They have a little bit of everything up here. I mean, if you're vegan, they have it, gluten-free. We're actually having fish and chips. Yes, I know. You're going, why are you having fish and chips? You don't like fish. No, I don't, but they have halibut. And halibut chips I don't mind. They also have a little bakery in here with some butter tarts. I'm thinking of picking up a couple of the butter tarts just to try later on.
see what they're like. But this seems to be the place to be here in Sutton. Okay, so I think you can see how inspiring all those quilts and everything were, and the people too running it, and the guild members, everyone that we spoke to, very, very nice people, very, very friendly. So we had a little bit of time to kill. So, and you saw in the video, we stopped and had lunch, fish and chips in a local place. Found out later that there probably were other places we could have gone that were better.
There was...
Excuse me, I have to have my water.
In that quilt show, too, they also had, like, the sanctuary where they had all the quilts laid out.
Yeah.
And that was kind of interesting that they had that, so...
I did say that before I showed the video, but Walter just like to reiterate that for you in case you missed that part. Yeah. Earth to Walter. Okay. So what else was I going to say? Oh yeah. So before we went over to Caroline and Craig's, my subscribers, we decided after lunch to go to a local quilt store in the area called the Quilting Gnome. Now, I did mention this on Idiot Quilter this week, so I may be repeating myself, but I was hesitant to go into this quilt store because of something that happened a few years ago. Not directly between them and me, but between them and somebody whose name will not be mentioned on here, that told me some things about this quilt store's Christmas box, and I believed that person.
I think it was the Advent, or it was a Christmas,
it was
Christmas hamper.
Yeah, Christmas, that they had. And I'm not going to get into the details of it, but I believed every word that I heard, and I really thought I really said some things on my own channel against this particular quilt store. That was wrong of me, because we went to this quilt store and the people working in it couldn't have been nicer. They had a fairly good selection of fabrics. Prices were not bad. And we were talking to the two ladies that were working in the store, and I think one of them is the actual owner. Maybe both of them are, I'm not sure. But were very helpful. I did buy a couple of things, and you saw that in Idiot Quilter this week, the rotating cutting mat and the Quilter Select ruler there. So if you're ever in the Sutton area in Ontario, do drop in. They're actually Jackson Point. For those people in Ontario may know where that is. Easy to find on Google. Check out the Quilting Gnome.
Yeah, they do have a fair selection of fabric.
Prices aren't bad.
Prices aren't too bad.
And I got $10 off because they had a little special promotion going on. They had 30% off all their Christmas fabrics. I didn't buy any.
They had a decent selection of wide backs.
Yes.
Yeah, so the store is kind of small, and their aisles are very skinny.
Yeah.
But it's to hold they have a lot of fair bit of fabric in there.
Yeah, and so they had this little thing. If you bought $30 or more, you got to pull an envelope off a little Christmas tree, and there was something inside at some price. Well, I had over $30, so I got to pull an envelope, and I got $10 off my order on it. Not bad. It's better than a kick in the head. So yeah, very pleasant experience, I must say. So then we got over to Caroline and Craig's, and those of you on our So with Steven Wednesdays, you've met Caroline because she's a regular on there, and they invited us up for coffee and cake and to visit, and so we did. And yeah, it was a very nice visit. She has two huge cats that are the size of dogs. One hid from us under the bed. We didn't get really a good look at Rocky, but Whiskey, oh my God. That cat, when it sits around the house, it sits around the house. I mean, there, you could hear it coming. Boom, 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 boom. You know, it doesn't meow, it roars. So maybe it's a baby lion. I don't know. But that cat that's one big pussy, is all I can say there about it. And so we had a lovely afternoon at their place. Craig was showing us some of his hobbies. We got to see Carolyn's sewing room is small, but so neatly organized. I mean, you want to just shop her shelves because, and it just, I don't know how she manages to cut any of her fabric because it looks too nice on the shelves, the way it's all folded very nicely. And I think she's got it on comic book boards, and and all that stuff. And yeah, it was pretty. And her husband he has many hobbies. He's a woodworker. So he was showing us his workshop, which is basically his garage, but it's like he's
very organized.
Stuff is extremely organized in there. I mean, he has a car and a truck in there, but they backs those out when he's doing any kind of serious woodworking, and everything is on wheels. So, and he's got a lot of very interesting woodworking things. And he was explaining a lot of them to me, and what I heard was blah, 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 wood, blah, 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 wheels. So I don't know. Walter may have caught the rest of it.
Yeah, he made a lot of his own cabinetry and stuff like that in there, and he really did a nice job. It's way above what I could be able to do.
But just when you thought there wasn't anything more, he also has another hobby. E-racing. It's car racing, but with screens and things like that. He took us downstairs to show us his rig. Oh my God. Just the monitors alone. 3 monitors. Huge monitors. OLED monitors. I would love to have had his monitors. But he's got this it's like you're sitting in the cockpit of a racing car.
Yeah.
And when he puts the screens up and everything, it's like, holy crap, this looks real. This looks real.
Yeah. So I guess it's safe if you have an accident.
Yeah. Yeah, just you get another life or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, this isn't a little boy's toy. Oh wait, this is a big boy's toy. And like he told us, like this little sucker.
Well, I guess he's been into it for a long
Yeah.
time. Like he was started with a smaller system, and then he decided to upgrade to the really nice system. And he said, well, why not? You know, like,
let's just say that his system for this cost what my Lucy cost. That's all I'm going to say. We're not going to tell you where they live because we don't want horrible people trying to break into their home and steal his equipment. But yeah, it was very nice. So we had a very nice afternoon. We did have cake, and the cake was lovely. And we had coffee, and the coffee was lovely. And it was all very nice. So it was nice to see. It's nice to see subscribers in the flesh.
yeah.
You know, so to speak. But anyways, so yeah, that was what we did after the quilt show. So as I said, we're off to Quilts of Valor this weekend, and you'll tune in next week. We'll talk all about that too and whatnot, and maybe an update on how I'm doing with Stormy
Stormy Seas.
Rented lips. I can't. I'm still stuck on Q and W. I don't know how you get a sound out of that without making some guttural
Well,
noise.
it's sort of like knife.
Knife. It's knife.
It's like, yeah, you don't
Knife.
say K on the knife. So Williamburg, you don't say really the Q, but or you just say Williamburg.
No, it's knife.
Yeah.
KN knife. Well, what do you refer to all of those plants like we grow that you cook with? What's the word for those?
Peppers.
No, basil
Tomatoes.
oregano is a
It's an herb.
herb. Not herb. It's not a herb. It's an herb. The H is silent. But not connect. It's connect.
It's like pneumonia.
Oh, that's pneumonia. Yeah, everybody knows that's pneumonia. Yeah, okay, enough about grammar. Okay, or word vocabulary. All right, so hope you have a good week, and we'll see you next time for another edition of So Chatty. Bye, everybody.
Bye.